Hello Star Citizens, BuzZz here, and welcome back to the channel. So, over the past few weeks, CIG has been working very hard to get Alpha 2.0 out the door. Unfortunately, there have been a lot of blockers that have been keeping them from releasing this highly anticipated patch to the PTU. In the meantime, however, the community team has been going into overdrive, pumping out tons of great info to keep us busy while we wait. So in today's video, I want to hit up some of the highlights and talk about some of what we can expect from Alpha 2.0 when it finally does get released. So let's get started. So last month, just before CitizenCon, we started to get some interesting lore posts that seem to be leading up to the events that will be occurring in the Squadron 42 campaign. Now, I'm not a huge lore hound, but these posts were actually a very interesting read. If you haven't seen them yet, I encourage you to go to the comm link and check out some of the articles. A good place to start would be the posts entitled Empire Report Vandal Attack and the Aramis posts New Corvo in Ruins, both of which cover the Vandal attack in the Vega system, which set the stage for Admiral Bishop's speech in the CitizenCon livestream. In Around the Verse, episode 2.06, community manager Jared Huckabee, aka Disco Lando, gave us a tour of the new office in Santa Monica. The new facility is much larger than their current office and has dedicated space for the community team to record their various weekly shows. The office is now ready for them to move in. However, with Alpha 2.0 still under development, they've decided to postpone the move for the majority of the staff at least. The reason for the delay is largely due to some critical servers that are housed in the old office. It could take several days to move those servers and get them hooked up and running in the new facility, which would of course push back the release of 2.0 even further. Now, they can't push the move off indefinitely. If blockers keep popping up, eventually they'll just have to bite the bullet and move. Otherwise, they could run into an issue where they're paying rent on 2 facilities instead of 1, which would be a waste of backers' money. In other news, Cutlass owners have received some much-needed love. In the first of a new series of posts they're calling the Shipyard, CIG has released a bunch of new info about the game's de facto pirate vessel. Now, there is a lot of controversy on the forums surrounding the Cutlass's intended role and its current implementation in the engine. The ship was originally sold as a capable dogfighter with a higher than average cargo capacity for its class. It was also described as a ship with quote-unquote unparalleled maneuverability. Now, that, combined with the Cutlass commercial, led to some very, very high expectations for the ship's capabilities, which of course are not reflected in its current Arena Commander implementation. The article itself attempts to alleviate some of these concerns and clarify the direction that CIG is planning to take with the Cutlass. They start off by giving us a brief history lesson on the Cutlass's conception, development, and some of the issues it faced while it was being made flight capable for the release of Arena Commander 1.0. In a nutshell, the ship's design predated the game's flight model, and its unique thruster layout caused some serious problems within that system. So CIG has been working to resolve some of these issues with the current redesign, and they even temporarily embedded an outsourced studio directly into the Foundry 42 office. But due to a lack of available resources and shifting development priorities, the ship has been sitting on the back burner for quite some time. However, all is not lost. In the next section of the article, they talk about where the ship is currently, or more accurately, where it will be when Alpha 2.0 is released. In 2.0, the Cutlass's flight model has been completely revamped, with an increased top speed and maneuverability. The ship's physical model, while unchanged, has also been optimized and ported over to the new damage system. So this should help with some of the stuttering we've been experiencing whenever the ship spawns into a map in Arena Commander, and hopefully quiet some of the complaints about the ship's current performance, or lack thereof. For those that are still unhappy, CIG has reached out with an olive branch by introducing a possible new ship tentatively called the Buccaneer. The Buccaneer will be a smaller, more nimble pirate interceptor with a much smaller cargo bay than the Cutlass. If you ask me, however, this ship already exists, and it's called the Avenger. Also in the article, they talk about the upcoming Cutlass redesign. Here they show us some concept art, and they explain how the Cutlass will evolve and take advantage of the latest game mechanics, such as modularity, escape pods, docking, and the multi-crew system. From the look of the images they provided, it looks like the Cutlass might be getting a little bit bigger to accommodate some of these systems. So the front section of the ship is getting a new UI treatment with the new pilot panel layout, and the RIO seat is getting the standard 16:9 multi-crew display. They're also working on removing obstructions to the sight lines and are adding weapon lockers and personal storage areas to the front. In the new next section, they're adding a crew living quarters with additional weapon racks, storage lockers, a shower, toilet, and a pair of escape pods that are doubling as beds. The turret will also be accessible from the crew area. In the central modular bay, they're removing the lower docking collar and adding a cargo lift similar to the one currently found on the old Constellation model. The blue variant will retain its prisoner cells, and the red will get an escape pod recovery system similar to the one seen on the Avenger during the escape pod recovery previs video that they released recently. They've also hinted at some other possible variants, including a dropship model. So moving on to the rear of the ship, they've added a bulkhead door to isolate the central bay from the entry ramp, and that's to maintain pressurization whenever that ramp is opened. They're also installing a docking collar on the ceiling to replace the one that was removed from the floor in the central bay. The exterior of the ship is also going through some minor changes. Besides the obvious change of docking collar location, the thrusters and main engine placement are going to be modified to make it work better in the flight model. We'll also likely see the child thrusters removed from the main engines and placed elsewhere. All in all, it looks like the new Cutlass should be a highly versatile ship, and while it will never outmaneuver a dedicated dogfighter, it should do well as a small pirate freighter and bounty hunting ship, not to mention its official purpose as a search and rescue vessel. Moving on, we have the latest subscriber flare. Now this month we have another piece of the Puglisi collection. This time it's a Composi Magnus skull replica. So the Composi is some kind of aquatic predator found deep in the oceans of Ellis 4. And it's a pretty interesting piece, but I'll be glad when I can start customizing my hangar and move it to a more appropriate location. The garage area seems to be getting a little bit clustered at the moment. And next up we have the anniversary live stream. The live stream will be this week on Thursday the 19th of November. It starts at 11 o'clock PST and will be accompanied by a ship sale. From what we know, CIG will be revealing the Crucible repair ship as a concept sale. The ship sale will be followed by a design post on the repair system, which is scheduled to be released probably on Friday. Also during the stream, CIG will be showing us an update on the upcoming Star Citizen themed peripherals by SciTech. There will also likely be more footage from Alpha 2.0 and possibly a surprise ship or two announced as either hangar or flight ready. Aside from that, details are pretty sketchy. I guess we'll all just have to tune into the Star Citizen Twitch channel to find out what else is in store for us. And that brings us to the elephant in the room, Alpha 2.0. Alpha 2.0 has been in development for quite some time. Right now the patch is feature locked, but several blockers are still preventing a playable version from being released to the PTU. So what can we expect from Alpha 2.0? Aside from the standard visual and audio improvements, the most obvious is the release of the Mini Persistent Universe, or Baby PU. In it, we'll be able to explore the area around Crusader, a gas giant in the Stanton system. The planet has 3 moons and several stations in its immediate vicinity, which we'll be able to explore and find missions to perform in. Missions will likely be pretty basic to start off with, and will probably earn us rec to spend on rental ships, weapons, and equipment. We'll also get our first taste of true multi-crew experience, with the Constellation and Retaliator being flyable for the first time. If you haven't seen the CitizenCon livestream or the Alpha 2.0 press release demo, you need to pause this video right now, go to the Star Citizen channel, and watch it. I mean it. I'll be here waiting for you. For everyone else, let's talk about some of the other features that will be available in the patch that we know of. First off, we'll have the newly revamped IFCs 2.0. This, coming with the new flight model, includes 4 IFCs modes to choose from. The first is Precision Mode, which gives you improved control when maneuvering in close proximity to other objects. Now, this mode is primarily for takeoff and landing, but it'll also be useful for precise maneuvering when mining or doing in-flight refueling, or even boarding maneuvers. Space Combat Maneuvering, or SCM mode, is pretty much similar to what we currently have in Arena Commander. In this mode, your ship is limited to a speed at which it can still effectively maneuver in combat or normal flight. The difference between this and the current system is that your ship's top speed will be dynamically calculated based on its mass and available thrust. This means things like cargo, which adds mass, and thruster damage, which reduces your thrust, will affect your ship's maximum velocity. Another cool side effect of this system is that Boost, which increases your ship's available thrust, will also increase your ship's top speed. Cruise mode is for longer distance travel. This mode increases your top speed by up to 5 times that of SCM mode, and this comes at the expense, of course, of maneuverability. It's important to note that your ship will retain its normal acceleration rate in this mode, and getting to top speed can take up to 20 seconds. Also, slowing down will take significantly longer, as your ship's retro thrusters are not as powerful as your mains. The trick to mitigating this is to use decouple mode to spin your ship around and use your main thrusters to help you decelerate. The final flight mode we're going to talk about is Quantum Travel. Now, this mode is designed for extreme distance travel within the solar system. Quantum travel is primarily straight line with only very minimal course corrections possible. It also requires a special type of non-renewable fuel and for your ship's shields to be at their maximum capacity. The path to the destination will also have to be completely clear of all obstacles to initiate your quantum jump. Once you're in quantum space, your ship will reach velocities of up to 0.2 c, or 20% of the speed of light. If for any reason your ships are compromised or an object enters your flight path, you'll automatically be ejected from quantum space. For more in-depth information on how the new flight model works, check out the Star Citizen Alpha 2.0 Flight Models Changes post on the RSI website. It has an interview with the devs and several interesting charts and graphs for you to check out. Okay, so what else will we see in 2.0? How about a brand new UI system for your ships? In the weekly development update dated November 7th, they gave us a look at the new UI screens that will be included in 2.0. The video shows a sleek new system that uses several MFDs, or multifunction displays, to give us more customization options and granular control of our ship's systems. The video also shows off the new 16:9 display that will be utilized by crew members in larger ships. Now, there are some systems that have not been implemented yet, and those sections that are covered by red system unavailable tabs are the ones that I'm talking about. Now those systems should start coming online in later patches as the new game mechanics that support them also come online. Now keep in mind also that when the patch does go live, it'll probably be in several phases. The first phase will likely consist of only a small group of about 1,000 backers to see how the server handles that kind of stress. So up until now, CIG has only been able to do small in-house playtests, which consist of about 30 people on the server at a time. And even that has caused issues, which supposedly they've been able to resolve as of last week. So once they verify that the servers are stable with 1,000 players, they'll start ramping it up. Maybe 5,000, maybe 10,000. So how are they choosing who gets access? Well, since they've done away with the alpha and beta packages, this time around the lucky few are being chosen using a new method. CIG will be choosing participants primarily based on their in-game activity and their contributions to the issue council. Now this makes the most sense as they need really good feedback for a new PT release, and those backers that have done so in the past will likely do it again. So if you want to improve your chances of being chosen, you'll need to get in-game, like right now. Go find some bugs and report them. Alternatively, you can contribute to one of the thousands of existing bug reports by attempting to reproduce those bugs and then adding your comments into those bug reports. Now, also don't forget to vote on the priority of the votes of the bugs that have already been acknowledged. This tells CIG which bugs you want to be fixed first. Well, that about covers everything I know about 2.0. So let's wrap things up with a quick channel update. Now I know I haven't been as consistent with my videos lately, and that has been largely due to work and a lot of the other games that I've been playing in my free time. I've been playing a lot of games like Space Engineers, Rebels Galaxy, Tomb Raider, Halo 5, among others. And for those games that I am playing on PC, I've decided to start streaming those sessions onto my Twitch account. So if you're interested in watching, you can find my channel using the links in the description below. I've also joined up with Redacted.tv. Redacted is a community of content providers started by WTFosaurus, Twerk17, and Board Gamer. Now on this site you can see a link of everyone's Twitch streams when they're live, including my own, and you can check out the latest Star Citizen news in the forums. So I highly encourage you to check it out. And finally, if you're looking for a Star Citizen organization, feel free to stop by the Tactical Advance website and check us out. The link to that site can also be found below. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, or at least found it informative. If so, be sure to hit that like or subscribe button. And until next time, this has been BuzZz, and I'll see you guys in the verse.